Dear students, in this video, I will explain you the story The Little Girl taken from the class 9 book of Beehive. The theme of the story is that young children do not always understand their parents' behavior, but after a time, children succeed in finding reasons for their parents' actions or words. The little girl was terrified of her father and thought that he was very strict and physically very strong. Later, she realized that he too was vulnerable and lonely and needed looking after. She realized that as he worked very hard and became tired, so he could not play with her. She also understood that if he scolded and punished her, it was only because she had done a mistake. Kezia was a little girl. Her father was a big man. Physically, he had a huge body structure. He was usually busy and had very little time for his family. He was a disciplined person, so he was very strict with Kezia. In spite of all these, he had a loving heart, but Kezia could not realize that. Kezia was very scared of her father. She stuttered each time she spoke to him. Actually, she was not very comfortable speaking with him, and she felt little bit of irritated when she appeared before her father. She hesitated actually to talk with him, and this would irritate her father. Every day he would ask her if she had been a good girl, and Kezia would answer that she did not know. Kezia's grandmother, on the other hand, would try to help her, telling her ways in which she could make her father happy. She was kind, she was polite, and she thought about every member of the family. Once she suggested that Kezia make a pin cushion for her father and gift him on his birthday. Kezia made a cushion for him, but she stuffed it with bits of paper that actually belonged to father. She got it by tearing the pages of her father's great speech for the port of authority. So you can understand, students, how the paper or those pages were very important for father. This made her father very angry. When he could not find the pages anywhere in the house, he really could not tolerate it, and he got angry. And when he came to know that the papers were taken by Kezia, he was so angry that he punished her. Kezia wished her family had been like the MacDonald family, where five children played with father and had a lot of fun together. They were actually Kezia's neighbors. They would play tag in the evening. Kezia used to watch them every evening and used to feel very bad that this kind of a thing did not happen in her house. They were always found laughing. Kezia wished her father was like Mr. MacDonald. One day, Kezia's mother fell ill and had to be hospitalized. Kezia's grandmother went with her mother to the hospital to give her some support. Alice, the cook in the house, took care of Kezia. Now, when it was time for Kezia to go to bed, she was afraid that she might get nightmares because she often got nightmares, and that night too she did. She began to cry for her grandma. Suddenly, she found her father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. And what he did? He carried her to his bed and lay down beside her. Kezia snuggled her head under his arm and held on tightly to his shirt, and she felt very strong in his arms. Tired, her father dozed off before she did. Kezia realized how hard her father worked to earn money. He too needed looking after. She felt safe with her father that night and realized that he had a big and loving heart. After all, it was not that he was a tough type of man, he was a cruel man, he was a very bad man, as he did not play with his daughter. No, it was not like that. He did not get time to play with his daughter. And when he came after work home, he used to be so tired that it was not possible for him to play with her. And it was true that often he scolded his daughter, but that was when she made mistakes. This was to rectify her, and this actually annoyed Kezia. She was very scared of his father, but that night her thoughts changed. She realized that her father had a very big heart. He was also a caring father. It's not that the outside of a person should be the things that we should use in our life to judge a person, but that a person's inside should also be seen to really recognize how the person is. And after all, the greatest thing is that parents always love their children. They may scold their children, they may shout at their children, but that does not mean that they don't love their children. So, I hope students you have understood the story. So, that's all in this video. Keep reading.